Next up, we have the CEO of BrainCool, Martin Waleij. Welcome, Martin.
Thank you. Okay, today I'm going to present BrainCool and primarily our first 3 products to market. BrainCool, in short, we were started back in 2014, a medical device company based in Lund. We have 2 business units, brain cooling with the target temperature management, and oncology. We have 3 products to market, primarily the BrainCool system, RhinoShield, and Coral system, which I will present a little bit more in depth today. All of these products have a very good business model with a clear razor blade model where every treatment is one consumable. We have over the years sold for a total of 19 million Swedish crowns, and last year our revenues were 9 million. We started a US organization with direct sales back in 2018, which is really now up and running. We have been successful in raising funds also through grants and have over the years raised close to 60 million Swedish crowns that supported our development and clinical trials. We have recently had an update of the international guidelines from American Heart supporting our products, both the BrainCool system, which is called iCool in the US, and also RhinoShield. And these European guidelines has also been updated in March this year, which really supports our both products. We are listed on the Spotlight stock market since 2014, and we're aiming now to be transferred to the First North during 2021, which we will have an update shortly. Our primary focus is BrainCool system, which is iCool, called iCool in the US, which is working at the ICU. RhinoShield, which is a product that could be adapted in early cooling, in the ambulance, in the emergency room, and up to the ICU. And also have a product called Coral system, which is prevention of oral mucositis. And these 3 products are market ready, and the iCool and the BrainCool system is already launched. Our achievements 2020 and the first quarter of 2021 is that we received a number of important reference orders in Germany and the US and also South Korea, which will be a very strong base higher now we come out of the COVID to further increase our sales. We have had a successful IPR development where essentially all our 3 products now have international patent coverage from Asia to the US. We have, besides of the new guidelines from American Heart for our brain cooling products, also received a breakthrough designation for medical devices, which is a form of fast track for this Coral system, which actually could also lead to a very interesting reimbursement situation. We have completed a clinical trial of 180 patients in prevention of oral mucositis with this Coral system, which has been presented and also been the base for the breakthrough designation from the FDA, and we're now awaiting scientific publication on this study. We have received market clearance also for the Coral system on the European market because we run also a number of other trials, including a breast cancer trial in Japan and a number of in vivo and in vitro trials, which has been basis for a European approval. The new guidelines, of course, that I will tell you more about of our brain cooling products is really supporting a further international growth of these products. In 2021, our key targets in 2021 is we expect to get FDA approval for our second product to market, RhinoShield, and a third product to market, the Coral system, during this year. So this product could be launched going from 1 product to 3 company, both on the European and the US markets. The goal is, of course, to increase sales of the BrainCool system, iCool in the US, and also launch RhinoShield and Coral. We expect to get further patent approvals on a fairly new application we have within oncology, which is for prevention of neuropathy, which already has Swedish patent approval. A big target for this year is to strengthen and expand the organization with further management, both in sales, development. We will hire a CFO, and also we expect to hire business unit managers or subsidiary CEOs, which will be a very important goal for the company this year. And also, we will expect to launch the company at Spotlight this year. The market overview for these products. In brain cooling, our first product to market is within cardiac arrest. It's roughly 4 million people every year, and the characteristics of these patients is this high mortality, so up to 80-85% of these patients die. So the target is, of course, to improve survival and also improve neurological function for the patients who survive. The second indication or area is stroke and neurology, which is about 15 million stroke patients a year, which differs from cardiac arrest because it's not as high mortality, but a very high rehabilitation need of the patients that survive. Here there is subsets of patients where our initial focus is on neurological fever, which is about 3-4 million patients a year in the US, and the same in Europe, which has been an area with further focus due to the COVID-19 crisis, where a number of patients, COVID-19, had ended up with high fever on the ICU, which is an area where we actually completed a clinical trial of 15 patients and been able to treat these patients very successfully. Oral mucositis, which is for the coral system, is a smaller patient population, about 1.2 million patients a year, but it's a well-defined market and much more planned treatments compared to the intensive care market, which requires 24/7 service all the days of the year, I was about to say. We expect also to go into the neuropathy market, and we have some projects within migraine, which is funded by EU support. But essentially, BrainCool is transferring to focusing on the first 3 products to market, which now going to be launched, and we are working to improve our organization and increase sales. The BrainCool system then is a system that works in the ICU clinic, where patients are treated and have cooling treatment on the ICU for 72 hours for cardiac arrest, and for neurological fever it could be even up to 10-15 days, with the goal of helping these patients to survive and improve their neurological function. However, the ultimate target of our strategy is to combine this product with a product called RhinoChill, where you can cool up to 3-4 hours only, but it's a very efficient tool where you can cool on the scene of the arrest, in the ambulance, up to the emergency room, through the different controls in the clinic until the ICU. And we see very interesting result, in particular if you can cool this patient within 20 minutes, where we see a large increase in improved neurological function. And that should be compared to the standard of care today, where these patients are treated after 3-4 hours in Sweden, but in countries like France it can take them up to 7 to 8 hours. We are heavily supported here by new guidelines from the US that clearly states we should start cooling these patients as early as possible. Treatment in the ICU is not enough to help these patients. Also, the American guidelines supports our company in that is a further focus on the ICU on high quality temperature management system, where BrainCool system or iCool in the US is 1 out of 3. So there's a good foundation here for further sales development of iCool and BrainCool in the ICU, but long term also combine these 2 products to really be able to start with the RhinoChill and then have to tag along with the BrainCool or iCool in the ICU. In pain management, our primary focus now is oncology. We have the product called Coral System, which is about prevention of oral mucositis, which is a severe side effect of cancer treatment. And this product has completed a large clinical trial We await scientific publication of that. We presented the clinical data for the FDA very successfully, leading to a breakthrough device designation. And we actually also have a fast-track approval for this product in China. It has been a little bit tough during the COVID-19 year, but we expect to increase the pace of approval process now in Korea, Japan, and China. But on the US market, we already submitted a De Novo 510K submission, which actually has been reviewed in detail by the FDA through our breakthrough designation. So we think we are in a fairly good situation there. Long term, we can use the same cooling system for another application called Cool Limb, which is cooling of hand and feet, where we think we can treat 2 patient groups with the same same product, where the goal for this year would be to get this product CE-marked. The Coral system prevents a big problem in cancer treatment. It's documented healthcare cost in the US of $40,000 to $70,000 per patient. There's 5 companies having fast track in the pharmaceutical market, but they could be years from market, and we expect to get this product approved this year and being able to launch this on the US market. The sales strategy of BrainCool, which we have today, is we're focusing on Germany, we're focusing on the US, and we're now going to start and hire the person to attack the Nordic market, where we built up strong key opinion leaders, customers, Karolinska in Sweden, 6-8 sites in Germany, and a number of US reference customers. So coming up of the COVID year, we really think that we ramped up for further sales increase. We also have been able in the US to sign a number of GPOs, General Purchase Organization, that supports over 5,000 hospitals and are really geared up to increase sales in the US. Long-term distribution model could be interesting for BrainCool, in particular in oncology, where there's a lower risk classification and a very good product for a distribution model. IPR strategy, we are focusing on the US market, the European market, and then Korea, Japan, and China, which we think will be very important markets. We have been very successful with both the BrainCool, RhinoShield, and Coral, and now have most patents approved, actually. So it's really about a foundation to continue and maintain this patent protection, where the BrainCool system have a number of patents which is aimed for different applications of the BrainCool system, while RhinoShield and Coral have a further coverage, more of the complete product. I mentioned the updated regulatory guidelines from both American Heart and the European Resuscitation Council. They are important because they are the drivers of the development of this market. And both our products, RhinoShield, to be able to cool as early as possible, and BrainCool system, or iCool in the US, to really have an advanced treatment in the ICU, are really in the forefront of these guidelines. So I think we have a very good situation for further growth in this area. Upcoming milestones in the company, short-term, mid-term. Short-term this year, it's really investment in our organization to create a stable organization geared for growth, but also geared for being able to take in FDA audits from Asia, audits from the notified bodies in Europe, where there will be further work due to the new medical device regulation system. Mid-term, long-term, of course, further launches in the US, going from 1 product to 3, and build a substantial growth in this company. We have competition, in particular for our first product to market, the BrainCool system, iCool system, where the market has been built by bigger companies taking over smaller companies. I'm not saying this is part of the BrainCool strategy, it's just to show that we are situated on a market where there's a high interest And a high growth is expected furthermore in the coming years due to new guidelines, but also geared by the treatment of neurological fever in pandemic patients. The management, myself, we have a very experienced quality and development team and a very good scientific manager, Mohamed Fassel. And essentially BrainCool has up to now been focusing on development, QA and business development. But within sales we also have Christian Strand, one of the founders of the company, that really work with partners and support of our sales organization. Elmar Landver is our new, well, since a year, head of European sales, and he actually built all the sales of one of our competitors, Sol, on the German market. So he's really focusing on the German market and has a large experience of this building sales within this market. We also have in the US Troy van der Ver, which has built similar business in the US, but for another competitor, Arctic Sun, which is a product that comes from Becton Dickinson. So we are really expanding our team, bringing in very experienced people. Board of directors led by Jens Kinander, chairman and lawyer at Delphi. Hans Henriksson and Roger Henriksson are both experienced in scientific development, but also Hans in international business development. Myself is also part of the board. Financials, in 2020 we have lowered the cost, like all the companies, I presume, in the COVID-19 crisis, but still being able to increase sales. And we think now we are geared up for expanding the organization and also expanding our business. Finally, our company highlights. We have a strong, diversified product portfolio. Our main focus will now be the first 3 products to market should really reach the market and grow this market. We have a global market potential in a number of indications and target temperature management, of course, but also in oncology. We've been very successful with the FDA and hope to be able to go from 1 product to 3 products approved this year in the US. We could be a potential acquisition target, but that could also be a sign how important this market is to many players, and that is a good foundation for growth. For our second and third product, we see first mover advantage. There's limited competition. We're changing the way treatments are done, both in target temperature management and in oncology. That will create barriers, but it's also creating very good opportunities. Finally, we have an experienced management board of directors, but see also potential and need to expand this organization with further competence in sales development, development QA to some extent, but also CFO functions and communication with the stock market. That's what my presentation today.
Well, thank you so much, Martin, for that presentation. It seems like you have several activities going on, and I'm just wondering if you look back at so far in 2021, what has been the main milestone that you think has given the most value to BrainCool this year?
I think the fact that we got this breakthrough designation for coral system is a clear sign that this is a first mover product for the US market. We have FDA really managing and helping us that this product should reach to US patients as quickly as possible. There's also been a decision, which is in part has been delayed, of automatic reimbursement for this product. We expect that this will lead to a positive result for this product, meaning that the time it takes for this product to reach reimbursement goes from 6 to 12 months instead of 5 to 10 years, which is the normal medical device procedure in the US.
Sure. You talked a lot about one of your products in particular, Coral. Yep. When do you expect launch in Europe, or is the US your main focus for Coral right now?
The European markets are equally important. We don't think at the initial stage we will launch on all the European markets, but of course Germany is a very important market because we have presence there and oral mucositis is a big problem there. And we also see fairly good potential of a fast-track reimbursement on that market. But obviously the US market in oncology is maybe 55 to 60% of the world market, according to our calculations. We have a breakthrough designation. There's documented healthcare cost in the States of $40,000 per patient. So there's enormous buzz and interest on the US market. So of course, the development of the breakthrough designation and potential reimbursement makes the US in particular a very interesting market.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely Germany will have equal importance, and then the other European markets we have to come back to.
Mm-hmm. Well, finally, to cap off, you talked about some of your long-term milestones. Where do you see BrainCool in 2 years from now, let's say?
BrainCool 3 years from now will have 3 solid medical device markets sold with high growth on the international markets, but on the US market in particular. Mm-hmm. And also expanded the organization, bringing in more management to be able to drive this company further for serious international development.
Well, that sounds great, and we look forward to following BrainCool in the coming months. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.